Yeah, Bang Bang Rail. I've just done a little bit of running around, looking at posters and all that I got, yeah, about fighters. And Matt Legg yesterday give you a few fighters that he knows about, yeah. Matt Legg, a good pro, mate. He fought AJ. I think he could have hurt AJ. If he'd have hit AJ with one of his punches, he'd have hurt AJ. He could possibly have knocked him out. But it was a shame that he didn't. AJ was a bit slippery, you know. He was just started then. He was an up-and-coming fighter. Today it might have been completely different. But anyway, Matt Legg's my pal. Matt Legg done one yesterday, a video about fighters and bits and pieces. So he done the ones that we all know: Roy Shaw, Lenny McLean, Johnny Waldron, Cliff Fields, them sort of people, yeah? So I'm going to do one just about the people that I know that in my days were boxing, were fighting. And in my days, it was maybe 20 or 30 people that would fight regular. If maybe go to a dressing room, go in there and say, just see you fight, you fancy me fighting for a couple of days? Yeah, and it'd be like that. It'd be that quick. No waiting around, going up wherever, drinking and training and never doing anything and going to fight him, going to fight that and never do it, yeah? But these people, what I'm going to tell you about now, were the ones that fought, that boxed, that unlicensed fights, yeah? So let me tell you, Matt Legg's more like he got this like himself now, and we're gonna go over each other, yeah. But anyway, let me try and get it together. I didn't want to mention Cliff Fields. I didn't want to mention Roy Shaw or Lenny McLean, but a little bit I have, yeah. So the first one we're going to go to is a guy called Ron Redrupt. Ron Redrupt, not a bad pro one, good fighter. He'd get in the ring with anybody on. He would fight 24/7, hard as they come. He was a hard man, mate. He wasn't afraid of no one. He got him with Cliff Fields. He knew Cliff Fields was knocking everybody out. He knew Cliff Fields was stopping everybody. And he still got in the ring for the title and lost. Fair play to him, mate. But he still got in the ring with Cliff, knowing really that he was going to lose. But he tried his best. So that's Ronnie Redrupt. Then he got my mate that I boxed, that I fought at Acton Town Hall, a guy called Colin Cracknell. I believe he's one of the hardest men that I've ever fought, yeah? Colin Cracknell could really have it. He was the governor of the fruit market, or one of the governors of the fruit market. Big, powerful man that could bang. I mean, most of the greengrocers I see him bang, they go, mate, they're gone. Just hit him on the shin, bump over. He didn't muck about. He taught me to do my street fighting, my licensed fighting. He taught me to box correctly, fight correctly, really, because I did box before that. Anyway, as an amateur, yeah. Then he got Stevie Smith, young Stevie Smith, a friend of mine. Game. He was a good unlicensed fighter, Stevie Smith. I got a lot of respect for Steve, and he could fight, mate. He was a little arm robber like myself. Got into the unlicensed fighting, started doing armed robberies and got himself in a bit of trouble. Got 8s, 10s and all them sort of things. But hard game guy, yeah? Danny Chippendale and Colombo, Steve Ritchie's his name. Danny Chippendale and Colombo used to go to Harry Starbucks pub and fight over the weekend. Them two was as hard as nails, as well as did Brian Hall, yeah? Go to the pub as well. But hard. Never stopped fighting, never stopped punching. Good fighters, mate. Old school fighters, didn't care on the cobbles. I've seen Colombo get in the ring with Roy Shaw, and Roy Shaw knew that he was having a spar, mate, because Colombo could knock him about a bit. Colombo was a very, very hard man, right? Could really have it. You got Terry Sharp. I mean, Terry Sharp is one of my mates, yeah, from Jimmy Tibbet. Terry Sharp, Cats Worcester Stratton with Eddie Richardson, Terry Coombs, another one. Terry Coombs, good fighter, good pro Terry Coombs. Terry Sharp, good fighter. His son was a good fighter. I forget his son's name, Terry Sharp's son. Good fighter, good unlicensed fighter. We used to go down the Red Lion in Lewisham and Lee High Street. go down there. This guy used to sponsor me, yeah? Bought me all my stuff for my boxing. Yeah, mate, he used to sponsor me big time. I was knocking them all out, that's why. And it was called the Red Lion Big Pub. And mate, Terry Coombs, Terry Sharp there, and good fight. There was both unlicensed fighters that could really, really have it. You got Reggie Chapman, mate, old school vet. Yeah. Reggie Chapman, old school vet. He can still march on a bit, mate. And Freddie Rose, fighter, good old fighters, mate. Good old, I love all that old fighters. And they weren't fighting, could get stuck in, unlicensed fighters. You got Donnie the Bull Adams. You got Donnie the Bull Adams, mate. One of the first guys, a travelling fella. One of the first guys, unlicensed fights. You got, you know, I mean, he was absolutely the business, yeah. I mean, he fought Roy Shaw after he had about 40 odd fights, and Roy Shaw stopped him out and knocked him, yeah. But good fighter, mate. I loved Donnie Adams. He became a referee of that. He was a referee in all the fights, but he was one of the first unlicensed fighters going. And I think he was one of the first unlicensed fighters, without a shadow of a doubt. So Donnie the Bull Adams, good fighter. You got, after that, you got the governor. One of the governors, I believe, was Harry Starbuck. Go back a long way, Harry. He could have a fight, mate, Harry Starbuck. He ran about 3 pubs. Didn't have no one on the door, mate. He ran it himself, ran all the pubs. And he was a man to reckon with, mate. We've had a few fights with travellers, me, Harry, Jimmy Tibbett and a few other people. But Harry's a good fighter, mate. Harry, I loved Harry Starbuck. And I've got good words to say about him, mate. He never turned his back on no one. Good fighter. Kevin Paddock, mate. Kevin Paddock. I said about Lenny McLean, I wasn't say, but I said I might say a little bit. Kevin Paddock beat Lenny McLean so easy, it was unbelievable. He lost to Roy Shaw. He said he underestimated Roy Shaw, but Lenny McLean, he didn't, and he went out there, Lenny McLean was so easy. He said, you know, everybody said he was so good, mate, but he was useless. But even his brother, Kevin Paddock, I drew with, good pro. Sid Paddock was a heavyweight. I drew with Sid Paddock. Sid Paddock could have it, mate. He could really have it, Sid Paddock. He wasn't no walkover. He could really have it, Sid. He wasn't frightened of no man. Had an accident and a bus chopped his leg off, mate. And just ruined his life, really. But a good fighter, Sid. Big, powerful man. Big. They run Southampton, Kevin and Sid. Kevin's still alive now. I must get down and see him. I keep saying I go down and see him. But Kevin fought Lenny and beat him easy. Who else you got there? Look, I know it's a bit funny me saying this, but Mickey Gluckstead. We know Mickey Gluckstead's got some terrible things, big question marks over his head about certain things, but Mickey Gluckstead could have it. He could have a fight, Mickey Gluckstead. Good, unlicensed fighter. He could fight. I think Columba beat him, bashed him up bad, I think. But someone sent me a comment and said, no one could beat Mick. But anyway, let's just say Mickey Gluckstead, good fighter. He was the same as Paul, what's his name? Paul Sykes. Mickey Gluckstead, question mark. Paul Sykes, question mark. But both good fighters, very good fighters. The other one coming up now, Manny Clark. Manny Clark, mate. My pal in prison with Manny Clark. Family, George Clark, his dad. Freddie Clark, I think it's his granddad or his uncle, I'm not quite sure. Fred Clark, the old man, his granddad or uncle, had a car accident or got shot in the leg. He was a proper old school gangster. Fought Tom Farr, fought loads of people. If he was in this game at this time, he'd have knocked them all out. He was a good fight, Fred Clark, yeah. Manny Clark, who's around now, he's had about 20, 30 unlicensed fights and he can march on many. I was away with him. He's very tough, very strong man. His old man George was a bouncer in action. That's how I met them. I met George Clark, Freddie Clark and Dave Griffiths and also Cliff Fields, all in the door at the club I used to go to, yeah? White Hart Accent, bad place, mate, some fights there. Who else you got? Bobby Pollard. How many people remember Bobby Pollard? Bobby Pollard could fight, mate. He could bang Bob. I was supposed to fight him a couple of times myself, but it never happened. But fight Bobby Pollard, good fight. I like Bob. He didn't give him, mate. He was there 24/7. Good fight, Bob. My mate, Brian Hall. Come on. Brian Hall never stopped fighting. Same as Chippendale, same as Colombo. Always down Harry Starbucks pub, always fighting down their weekends. Brian Hall, old school, mate. Good pro, unlicensed fighter. Had loads of fights. Me and him drew it together. Good fight, mate. He's a good fighter. Good fighter, Brian Hall. Who else you got? Mickey Mays. A lot of people must know Mickey Mays. Mickey Mays, I like Mickey Mays. We go back a long way, me and Mick. It was Terry Coombs, Terry Sharp, Jimmy Tippett, all that lot used to knock about together with Paul Fitzgerald, all at the Red Lion pub, yeah. Good fight, Mickey Mays, and he remembers me big time, I should think, Mick. Who else? Paul Fitzgerald, mate. Another one, Mickey Mays, Paul Fitzgerald, all that lot in the pub at the top of the road in Lewisham. Close, very close people. Everyone was unlicensed fights. Everyone. They had me. He liked me. The guy who owned the pub liked me, so he sponsored me, bought me everything, dressing gowns, boots, the lot. He loved me. I was knocking them all out. Loved me, yeah. But Paul Fitzgerald, big mop of hair. Loads black hair he had, and now he's as bald as a badger. I've been told, yeah. So anyway. Who else you got? You got Lloyd Wolford. Lloyd Wolford, mate. He's a geezer that I was sparring with, and he gave me a concussion, Lloyd. I went down, and I got up quick, but I had a concussion. I didn't know where I was. By the time I got dressed and all this, I walked out. I walked to down to Old Kent Road Station, and Elephant Castle, and I thought, what am I doing down there? I've got the car outside the Beckett. I didn't know, it was such a bad concussion, he could really bang Lloyd Wolford. Good fight, mate. Big respect for Lloyd. I like him, mate, and he could really hurt you, yeah? Who else? John Talbot. I know there's a lot of people on my comments are not even going to know these fighters, but these are fighters that should be remembered. These are the unlicensed fighters that started the unlicensed fighting, that should always be remembered. They was about in my times, 78, 84. They were the ones. So I did say 68 at the beginning, but I meant 78. I apologise, yeah. But they were the ones that started the unlicensed fighting off. They were the ones, yeah, with Roy Shaw, Lenny McLean, Cliff Fields, and Johnny Wilson. I got that lot in as well, yeah. So you've got you've got Gary Knight, young Gary Knight. He could have been a good pro, Gary Knight, but he got into the unlicensed fighting, but he was about middleweight, super middleweight, good fighter, can bang, very, very fit, always kept himself crisp in fighting, fitness, nice guy. Who else? Roger Field. I don't think he's in relation of Cliff Fields. Roger Field, good fighter, mate, another good fighter. These fighters that I'm telling you about don't give up. They never give up. They was always on the shows. Any shows, they was there. It wasn't a year later, 6 months later, 3 months later. They was there. They was there, mate. 100% they was there. Good fighters. Malcolm Ryan, another good fighter. These fighters you don't know, dear. Good fighter, Malcolm Ryan. Check him out, mate. I used to see him on the shows all the time, Malcolm. See him in the dressing room, shouting out to people, do you want to fight? Don't forget, these people that done the unlicensed fighting in them days just wanted the power notes. They'd fight 24/7. They would fight 50 rounds if they had to get money. But this is what fighters are about. Unlicensed fighters, that's what they should be doing now. You got Tshaka, 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 Tshaka. He beat Lenny McLean. No, I think he beat Lenny. I think he also beat Cliff Fields. I'm not quite sure, but I know Colombo stopped him, knocked him out. But I do know that he beat Cliff Fields, I think. and beat Lenny McLean. Check it out. I'm not quite sure. Shaka, yeah? Good fighter, Shaka. He never give in, mate. I liked him. I met him. He loved me, mate. Was good pals, yeah? Shaka, good fighter. Who else? Steve Riches Colombo. I've said him twice there, Steve. I like Steve Riches, mate. I used to really get on well with him. I was at the Beckett when he done the box on video, when he was showing everybody his floor workouts and all what he did. He was in the karate game as well. He used to muck about the ring. But when he hit you, you know you've been hit, yeah? My last one, which should have been mentioned a lot really, then he didn't get mentioned, was Lou Yates. Lou Yates, good fighter, mate. Come from up north, come down to us as a bouncer on the doors, and then to fight also, to go back with his money to his wife or his kids or whatever. But you've got to respect a man like that who comes down to London from up there to fight people. He said that he beat Roy Shaw. I think Roy Shaw beat him on a cut-eye or something. But good fighter, Lou Yates, mate. He wasn't fighting anybody, but he didn't tell Cliff Fields, say to Cliff Fields, you're a coward because he turned his back on him. He wouldn't have got away with that because Cliff Fields stood for that. But, good fighter. Lou Yates is my last one. There are a few more that Bartley Moe and all them sort of people and Butland and all them people I mentioned, but they're there, they're in our hearts and all this and the other. So this is Bang Bang Rail. Please press the like button and subscribe. And this is my lot, yeah? These are the ones that you've got to remember. They're the ones that started it all off, yeah? So it's Bang Bang Rail. Please press the like button and subscribe. Nice one.